Alright, so today I want to show you guys how to replace a passenger side window. You can see that it was recently broken. I was up, well, I won't tell you where I was, but I was up in a major city, and I was in a parking garage, and I came out the next morning, and we found out via the security footage that some skinny jean wearing beta male tried to break the window. You can see, if you count these marks, he hit it 10 times and wasn't able to break it. But if you look on the inside, oh, there's his puppy dog. I can scratch it with my fingernail. Like, he only got through the first layer, so he only cracked the first layer. But this is a safety concern because it does obstruct my vision out the side a little bit, and it's very annoying to drive around with a busted looking window. So I called Safelite, and they were able to get me a replacement window glass. It's not the factory Ford one, so it doesn't have, here it is down here in the box. So it's the same tint and everything. The difference is on the corner there. It's hard to see because it's really bright today. But it doesn't have this official Ford information here, like the factory one was. So that's the only part I don't like. There we go. You can see it much clearer right there. So you can't see, that's not on the replacement glass. Obviously, you can only get that from Ford. But Safelite only charged me $289, so $289, because I'm going to be doing the replacement myself. So not a bad deal. Let's get started. First thing you're going to need is a Torx bit. This is that star-shaped one. This one is a size T25. So T25 Torx bit, that's what you'll need. And there are 5 screws you'll need to remove. The first 2 are right here at the bottom of the door. So we're gonna get those 2 out, and then there's 3 more higher up that I'll show you. Door handle here, there's a little panel in there. You can see. I just got my little screwdriver in the crack and just kind of don't bend it because that will scratch the plastic. What I did was I just kind of put it in the crack and then kind of pulled it a little bit and then just pulled it out, and it was able to pop the little panel off. So I should be able to now open the door handle and slide this little guy out. Oh. It's hard to do with one hand. I'll be right back. All right, I've got that little panel out of the way. Needed to use both hands, and then there's another bolt right there. 2 bolts are behind this arm, I guess you would say, armrest cover. It's actually part of the door handle too, but this whole piece here will come off. So you're going to start at this end, kind of get your screwdriver in there and pull out, and you're going to release those little clips, and then you're just going to slowly work forward and release the clips all the way up. You don't really need any special tool for this. Just kind of give it a little gentle tug as you go, and you'll work it out. You see those little clips, those will just release. But be gentle. You don't want to break anything plastic. Might have to give it a firm tug, but again, don't bend it too much. You don't want to snap this plastic piece. It sounds like it's breaking, but it's not. Okay, so we're off. There we go. Nothing's broken. We got it exposed, and there should be a bolt right there. Yep. And then there's one more right there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this speaker. And what you can do is just grab here. You're going to pull towards you, and that's going to create a little gap right there. And you're just going to have to work your fingers into that gap and kind of gently tug, just like we did with the door handle trim. So now we're able to, we're ready to remove the whole door panel now. So what I did was I started at this bottom corner. I used a little spatula. You can use a plastic spatula like you use to do drywall mud or whatever, and get it under there just so you can get your fingers. And then again, with those little plastic things, you're just gonna start pulling it loose, okay? So you're gonna pull it loose. You'll see they're starting to pop off. Let me see if I can get you in there. See there? That one popped out, and you're gonna work your way around the bottom, okay? Pop that out, and now those are all popped loose. So now your whole door panel will kind of flop, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift up from the bottom, and this top lip is gonna unhook, and then you can take it out. The next thing you're gonna do, this is kind of hard because the wires are still connected, so I'm holding the door panel up with one hand and trying to film with the other. But this is the door handle release cable. It was hooked on right there, and I just gently popped it. You can see that little connector deal right there, pop loose, and then that removes. And then the only other thing you have holding the door on is this connector here, which is for the speaker, and that connector there, right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect those, because since I'm replacing the window glass, I wanna get this door panel completely out of the way. All right, so this top connector, that's for the lock buttons and the window buttons on the other side. This little zip tie was in there. You can just pull that. You can just pull that and pop it out. And then, of course, the connector, you push the little tab down and pop that out. So that's loose. I'm just gonna leave the speaker hanging there. It's very, very light. I don't think it's gonna damage the wires. And then now I just have to disconnect this one that's down by the door handle. All right, so that one was a little bit tougher to get out. That little clip right there was very stubborn. So what I had to do was I had to use that same small screwdriver that I used earlier, and I kind of used that to push down that little tab, and then I was able to kind of wiggle it a little bit and it came out. Off, you can see some of the residue around there. So I got that off. It tore in one spot, like right here. It tore a little bit only because I was being impatient. So if you're careful, and it's a warm day, like right now it's a warm day, I'm in direct sunshine. So that's kind of softened it up a little bit. But I don't know what that is. That's weird. That must be from the factory. It's like, looks like some kind of epoxy or something. But anyway, I was able to take it off all the way around, and it looks like it should go back on fairly easily. I might have to use a little bit extra adhesive, but we'll go from there. Quick note, I decided to go ahead and remove the speaker because I didn't want to flop it around and damage it. So there's the connector right there. It was very easy to disconnect with that little push button right there. So I went ahead and disconnected it so it's not just hanging here. And next is the window. You guys are not going to believe how easy this next step is. So what I did was I took the window switch out of the door. It just pops out. You got those two little release clips here. Plugged that in so that I could move the window up and down. And I got it to where these yellow sliders are right on the track in the accessibility window. You can see that one there. You can see that one right there. Okay. And then you've got this little access hole. So all you do is push your screwdriver in there, and there's a little release clip that you push in on right behind that little cable. See that little clip? Right there. You're gonna push in on that with a screwdriver, and it's gonna release, and it's gonna allow you to pull the glass up with your hand. So you'll just pull the glass up. Release it on the same on the other side, and then to pull the glass out, all you're gonna do is you're gonna lift up this back corner first, lift it up kind of diagonal, and you're going to rotate the window out. It's hard to do with one hand, but basically rotate the window out, and that outside, see how that will be outside of the window track now? And you'll basically be able to reach above the window, and you'll pull the whole piece of glass out like that. So I just did it one-handed, so I know you can do it two-handed. And then there's two clips that you're gonna definitely want on your new piece of glass. So let's go compare this to the new glass. Quick note, I'm really glad that I'm actually replacing this now, because just in the act of pulling that out, I probably warped it a little bit when I was pulling it with one hand, but you can see that the crack right there actually spread all the way to the top edge. So I'm really glad that, I got it on my workbench, by the way, my weightlifting bench, but I'm really glad that I'm replacing this glass. So here's the new piece of glass from Safelite. Everything looks exactly how it should. Same exact factory attachments here, they're epoxied on. The only difference is this mark right here. The color tint is the same, identical. On camera, this looks a little bit more green than this, but it's just a depth thing. They are exactly the same tint. The only difference is this kind of little tattoo right here. Doesn't say Ford, it says, I can't read that right now, but it's the manufacturer information. All right, let's put this window in. I should not have. I should have clipped the side closest to the speaker in first, but that gives me an opportunity to show you that release again. So you can see right in there where my screwdriver is, that little kind of yellowish plastic tab. I'm just gonna push that in, and then I'm gonna pull up with my other hand on the top of that window and release that, and then I'm gonna clip this side in first. Back on. I'm really happy with how well it went back on. Everything is laying flat. There's the spot that I ripped it a little bit with my impatience, but it's not gonna affect it. For the soundproofing, the adhesive was sticky enough to go right back on, and it's holding in place well. Plus, when I put the door panel back on, that will even better hold it in place. So yeah, let's go ahead and put the door panel back on. Back the one for this switch and the one for that switch. That's my speaker connector still sticking out up there. It's just hooked in at the top. Before you go ahead and put everything back together, I also remember I had to disconnect the cable for the handle. It just popped in there. So I'm going to test that just by simulating the door closing. And then I'm going to pull the handle. Okay, here we go. So I pushed it in with the screwdriver, released it with the door handle. So it's good to go. Go ahead and put the 5 bolts in. So one there, one there, one there, and 2 at the bottom. And then we'll put all our trim pieces back on.